A very good morning friends and a warm welcome to all. Myself आशीष कुमार सिंह आप सभी का तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूँ. From past many days we are seeing in newspaper as well as in TV and digital media regarding Russia-Ukrainian conflict. This is a headline, but many of us don't know the whole story. Remember, knowledge is the key to success, and the more you are updated in today's world, the more you are sharper and brighter. Before moving further, a humble and polite request to every friend is to kindly help us grow by simply liking, sharing and subscribing our channel. Now without wasting our time, let us quickly move to the hot and burning topic, Russia-Ukrainian conflict. Russia has deployed nearly 1 lakh soldiers on borders with Ukraine. Many experts say that within a few days, Russia may invade Ukraine and war may begin. Situation is very tense and it may escalate at any time. Negotiations and talks are also going on. आप कोई भी न्यूज़ चैनल, कोई भी न्यूज़पेपर उठा करके देखिए, आज के समय के सबसे हॉट एंड बर्निंग टॉपिक है रशिया यूक्रेन का विवाद. ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इतना ज़्यादा बढ़ चुका है, इतना ज़्यादा एस्केलेट हो चुका है कि कभी भी लगता है कि युद्ध की नौबत आ जाएगी और न्यूज़ चैनलों की माने तो वर्ल्ड वॉर 3 भी स्टार्ट हो सकता है. Present status: deployment of Russian forces and artillery. Nearly 1 lakh soldiers have been deployed by Russian army. You can see in the map. This is Ukraine, in the north of Ukraine, in the eastern side of Ukraine, as well as in the southern side of the Ukraine. Russian forces are there. In this image, you can see Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict is centered around many focal points. Number 1, Russian forces on border areas adjoining the Ukraine border, international geopolitics, energy, coal and gas reserves and supply. Next one is expansion of NATO and expected inclusion of Ukraine into NATO. Last but not the least, Crimea and Black Sea. First, let us see where exactly Ukraine lies with respect to Russia. Here is the map and you can see Russia is a very big country and half of Russia lies in Asia and half of Russia lies in Europe. The southwest of Russia lies Ukraine, and south of Ukraine lies the Crimean Peninsula, and Crimean Peninsula is adjoined by Black Sea from 3 sides. And in the map you can see that Crimean Peninsula, the northeast of Crimean Peninsula, there is Sea of Azov, and south of Crimean Peninsula it is Black Sea. Here you can see a detailed map of Ukraine. The capital of Ukraine is Kyiv. South of Ukraine, as I have told you, it is Crimea. Crimea surrounded by Black Sea, and northeast of Crimea it is Sea of Azov. तो कैपिटल ऑफ यूक्रेन कीव है. यूक्रेन के नॉर्थ ईस्ट और ईस्टर्न साइड में रशिया है. यूक्रेन के साउथ में क्रीमियन पेनिनसुला है, जिसे कि रशिया ने 2014 में एनेक्स कर लिया था. इस पे भी हम अभी आएंगे. ये बहुत बड़ा कारण है और प्रेजेंट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जो है इसमें इसका भी बहुत बड़ा रोल है. Russia-Ukraine conflict main focal points. First one is 1954, USSR gifts Crimean Peninsula to Ukraine. Next, after World War II, NATO and Warsaw Pact came. 1991, USSR disintegrated. Ukraine came into existence along with 14 other nations. Annexation of Crimea by Russia. And present status, heavy deployment of Russian forces and heavy artillery on the eastern borders of Ukraine. We will cover all these points in detail. The roots of this conflict lies in history. Let us look at past historical events. After World War II ended, the world was polarized into 2 blocks, not North and South Pole, but into NATO, which is North Atlantic Treaty Organization led by US, headquartered Brussels, Belgium, and the second one, Warsaw Pact, led by former USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. In the following years, this led to Cold War until the disintegration or dissolution of USSR into 15 states, out of which one was Ukraine. Now look at the map. You can see the south of Ukraine, there lies Crimean Peninsula. This Crimea was gifted by USSR to Ukraine in 1954. Present crisis is also related to annexation of Crimea by Russia in 2014. Actually, in 2013 in Ukraine, there was a revolution in Ukraine called Revolution of Dignity, also known as Maidan Revolution. तो 2013 में यूक्रेन में एक रिवॉल्यूशन हुआ था. वहाँ की जनता खुश नहीं थी. किन कारणों से खुश नहीं थी वो हम आगे अभी देखेंगे. और उसके बाद रिवॉल्यूशन ऑफ डिग्निटी हुआ. उसके बाद फिर रशियन फोर्सेस क्रीमियन पेनिनसुला में एंटर की थी और उसे टुक ओवर कर लिया गया था. इन सब चीज़ों को हम देखते हैं. द रिवॉल्यूशन वॉज इन रिस्पॉन्स टू द देन यूक्रेनियन प्रेसिडेंट विक्टर यानुकोविच refusal to sign a political association and free trade agreement with European Union. Ukraine's then president, who was Viktor Yanukovych, was pro-Russia and was supported by Vladimir Putin. Yanukovych fled Ukraine and asked Russia for help. Russia considered overthrow of Yanukovych illegal and did not recognize the interim government. उस वक्त यूक्रेन के जो प्रेसिडेंट थे विक्टर यानुकोविच, वो प्रो रशिया थे. रशिया उन्हें पसंद भी करता था और वो रशिया की भी हेल्प करते थे. बट यानुकोविच उस डील को साइन करने में असमर्थ थे, या वो खुद करना ही नहीं चाहते थे वो डील, जिसमें कि उनके यूरोपियन यूनियन से संबंध प्रगाढ़ होते हैं, बिजनेस टाइज डेवलप होते हैं, फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट होता. नाउ विद द फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट एंड क्लोजर बिजनेस टाइज विद यूरोपियन यूनियन, डेफिनेटली there will be more income generation for the people of Ukraine. Goods quality will improve, good production, more goods and services will be produced in Ukraine. There will be more GDP to the country. But all this could not happen because the president Viktor Yanukovych has not signed that particular agreement. Now meanwhile, Russian forces invaded Crimea, held an undemocratic referendum whereby Crimea declared its wish to join Russia. A treaty was signed and Crimea was annexed to Russia. Followed by this, US, NATO and European Union expressed their displeasure and removed Russia from G8, and thus G8 became G7. We know G8 is a group of 8 very powerful countries of the world, from which Russia was excluded and it became G7. Now next question comes into our mind, why was Russia so much interested in Crimea? Answer is gas and oil reserves. We will come and see this. So as I have told you, the importance of Crimea is due to two things: huge oil and gas reserves and strategic location and control over Black Sea. Now let's take a quick recap. So far we have discussed what is the present status on Ukraine's border, and Crimea was annexed to Russia. How it was annexed? That there was a revolution in 2013, followed which the Ukrainian president Viktor Yanukovych fled the country, and in Crimea also there was a popular uprising. The Russian forces entered Crimea. An undemocratic referendum was organized whereby it was declared that Crimean people want to join Russia, followed which Crimean Peninsula was annexed to Russia. Now coming to the question, why Crimea is so important. In Crimea there is a huge oil and gas reserves. Out of the total exports of Ukraine of oil and gas, 80% is given by Crimea. Further, Crimea is located in Black Sea. Once a country is having access to Crimea, then it is having a control over Black Sea. It is a very strategically very important. From Black Sea there is a huge transportation of oil, gas and coal through Black Sea. So once Russia is having the control over Crimea, it is gaining a very strategic control over this geographical area. Crimea accounted for 80% of gas exports of Ukraine. This huge reserve is now with Russia, adding millions of dollars to its exchequer. Next point is why Russia is against Ukraine. Main reason, Ukraine wants to join NATO and Russia is against NATO. That is very obvious because Russia came out of USSR and is the main country, and USSR and US were the two rivals after World War II. Cold War ensued for almost 4 decades, and now Russia is against NATO. So once Ukraine joins NATO, then definitely NATO will come to the borders of Russia. So Russia is definitely against that one. Second one, Ukraine acts as a buffer state between Europe and Russia. NATO, which started with 15 nations, is now comprising of 30 states. Ukraine has also expressed its interest to join NATO. Now NATO takes an attack on any of its member country as attack on NATO. NATO is an intergovernmental military organization. Surely once Ukraine joins NATO, then it will give a sense of security and safety to Ukraine against Russian threat and invasion. But Russia has drawn a red line now and has vehemently opposed the further eastwards expansion of NATO, which is threatening the geopolitical interest of Russia. So far we have seen historical background. Now let us move to the conflict area, which is Donbas region. You will ask, what is Donbas region? Let us look at the map. Now on the top you can see I have written Eastern Ukraine. Ukraine can be divided into two parts, Eastern and Western Ukraine. Western Ukraine is surrounded by Europe, and Eastern Ukraine, the border lies with Russia. Now in Eastern Ukraine, what happens? The people identify themselves with Russian ethnicity. Now in Eastern Ukraine lies the Donbas region, where the present conflict is going on. Donbas region is basically comprising of two regions. One is Donetsk, another one is Luhansk. And presence of pro-Russian separatist rebels is there in this area. They are supported by Russia with arms and ammunition. A conflict is going on, you can say a war is going on between these separatists and Ukrainian army. Till now thousands of soldiers have died on both the sides. Russia is indirectly supporting these separatists and want a control over these areas. Now let us see how Europe is dependent on Russia. Europe depends on Russia mainly for gas imports. This gas supply is the key to keep Europe warm and keep running its industries. You can see the Yamal-Europe gas pipeline in the map. This pipeline starts from Russia, goes through Belarus, then to the Poland and then to Germany. Now I will tell you, Belarus is a very close friend of Russia. Russian army is present in the southern borders of Belarus, so that Ukraine is sandwiched now from three sides by Russian army. One from the northern sides, that the troops are present on the borders with Belarus. Eastern side I have already told you, in the Donbas region, and southern side the Crimean Peninsula, which was annexed by Russia in 2014. So now you can see that how history is taking over the charge of the present situation. You can see it was a pre-planned tactics by Russia. Crimean Peninsula was annexed, Belarus is made a friend of Russia, so that Ukraine is pressurized from three sides, and that is why the world leaders have come to a common table to talk with Russia, and they are holding negotiations and talks so that this crisis and conflict can come to a peaceful end. Now through this pipeline huge gas is exported to Europe, but this pipeline is also not able to fulfill the needs of Europe. In Europe a lot of industrial activity is going on, and in winters they need gas to keep their homes warm, but still this pipeline is also not able to fulfill the needs of Europe. There are many other countries also, like Norway, it also supplies gas, but the amount of gas which can be supplied by Russia is in no comparison to Norway. So a new pipeline was laid down by Russia called the Nord Stream gas pipeline, which basically goes through Baltic Sea to Germany. This is the map of the Nord Stream 1 and 2 gas pipeline. This whole project is divided into two parts. One is Nord Stream 1 gas pipeline, that was already completed long before it's operational. Nord Stream 2, it is completed in September 2021. Very costly project, worth rupees 82,000, but it is awaiting clearance from European Union. You can see this pipeline starts from Vyborg city of Russia goes through Baltic Sea without coming in contact of any country and goes directly to Germany. This is very important pipeline. Germany will get a huge gas import from Russia through this pipeline at a very comparatively cheaper cost, because once pipeline was going through Belarus and Poland, if these two nations were taking money or charge or rent from Russia for allowing their territory for gas exports. Now through this Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, which is passing through Baltic Sea, this money will be saved and Germany and Russia both will get benefited. But what is happening in present scenario, once this Ukrainian crisis and conflict came up, Western countries and especially US has threatened Russia that this pipeline will not get operationalized, and it is threatening Russia. But one natural question comes into our mind: both Germany and Russia are sovereign countries. How US can intervene and interfere in their internal matters? Neither Germany wants to have a war with Russia, and Russia also don't want to lose millions of dollars from gas export. There are other ways also to keep the industrial activity going on, keep the homes in Europe warm, but they are coal or oil based projects and that costs environment hugely. So this gas pipeline is very important. So now you can see the geopolitics involved in this whole area. There are various factors. Russian army is there at the borders of Ukraine. They are supporting the rebels, separatists in the Donetsk region, Donbas region, and this gas is controlled by Russia. Crimean Peninsula is annexed by Russia. Belarus is also supporting Russia. A lot of things are going on. NATO is trying to take control over Ukraine, and Russia has drawn already a red line that, see, already many countries who came after dissolution of USSR have joined NATO, and once NATO takes Ukraine also, then definitely NATO led by US will come to the borders of Russia. So Russia is also threatened. These are the geopolitical factors as well as the gas economic factors involved in this whole issue. So I hope you have understood everything. You can ask that all these things are going on, whether any peace talks have happened till now or not. So now we will come to that one. Two peace talks have happened till now, that is two agreements were signed. First one is 2014 Minsk 1. There was Ukraine plus Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, and mediation was done by France and Germany. The outcome was to end war in Donbas region of Ukraine and ceasefire, but this agreement or this peace talk was not successful. Another Minsk 2 was signed out. There the outcome was pull out the forces from Donbas region, restore control of state border to Ukrainian government. But again, this was also not very much successful. Otherwise this conflict could have been avoided and present scenario would have not come up. So I hope, friends, you all have understood what is going on between Russia and Ukraine, how the whole world is involved into, and how the media reports are coming that World War III is inevitable. Let's pray to God that this crisis comes to a peaceful end. Thank you very much. If you like the whole video, please share and subscribe and comment on this video. Wish you all the best.